Hey guys, in this video, I'm going to tell you guys my personal fitness story on how I went from this to this. I'm also going to give you guys my top tips and tricks on how I lost weight. Stick around towards the very end and I may give you an extra bonus tip. So you ready? We out. So for those that don't know me, my name is Louis Ha Fa Sho. You know how we do. So like many of you guys struggling right now going through your fitness journey, I also went through a huge transformation, and I did a lot of trial and error, and I understand where you guys are coming from. So because I went through it, I decided to become an online fitness coach because I've been there, I've done that, and at the end of the day, I just really want to help people live their lives to their fullest potential. So growing up, I was always kind of a little chubby kid, but it wasn't until I went to high school that I started playing a lot of sports. I was very active. I had a coach that he would really drill us during practice, so I was always afraid to eat lunch because I didn't want to throw up during practice. So I would literally just eat breakfast, and then after practice, I would go home and eat dinner. And that's how I got really skinny. But I was really toothpick skinny at the time. It wasn't until I graduated high school and I went off to community college when I got a car, I had a part-time job, so I had a little change in my pocket. And that's when I started driving everywhere, stopped being less active, and started going to Jack in the Box or McDonald's or KFC with my friends. I was still working out at the time, but the nutrition part I really didn't understand. There wasn't any YouTube or any real advice online. It was just more like what you saw in the magazines. So me not knowing any better, buying these magazines, wanting to look like these guys, not understanding that some of them, if not the majority of them, were kind of on some enhancing performance drugs. And I thought that I would just have to buy a tub of whey protein and that would make me look like these guys. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. After community college, I transferred to a university, and this was kind of when all the problems started. I joined the dorms, and if some of you guys aren't familiar with the dorms, the food there is unlimited. So once you come in, you can just pick and choose to your liking until you're full. Not only that, I did decide to join a fraternity to make new friends, and there was a lot of drinking and partying involved. After those late night parties or whatever, we would go to get fast food at Del Taco or Jack in the Box after that. So I think you can kind of see how I added all these extra calories. Even though I was still technically working out, I was always into lifting weights, but again, the nutrition part, I just did not understand that. And the whole college lifestyle kind of got the best of me. So if you ever heard of the freshman 15, I literally put on the junior 20. So while I was still in university, I decided that, I really wanted to lose some weight. Not really understanding, again, I decided to go on this clean food diet. And what that consisted of was a lot of broccoli, a lot of chicken breasts, a lot of brown rice, oatmeal. So it's all of these quote unquote healthy foods, but also because of that, I decided to cut everything out that was considered junk food. So no chips, no soda, no fast food, no processed food. It was just all just chicken, brown rice, broccoli every single day. I did this for a few months and I started to see results, but it wasn't the results of these guys in the magazines or people that had a six-pack. So I was just getting skinny again. After that, I decided to transfer to another university back home because my grades weren't the best. Again, I was out partying all the time. But because of that, once I got to this other university, because I restricted myself so much from the foods I love, when I got to the other university, I kind of just started going back to old habits and started eating a lot of junk food again, going out, fast food, drinking, and slowly but surely I started adding the weight back on. So from there, I kind of told myself, oh my God, not again. So this is kind of when YouTube started popping off, and then a lot of people started doing this thing called flexible dieting, or if it fits your macros. So once I learned all that, that's kind of when I started seeing the pounds fall off. I started getting lean, but not just lean, shredded. Hence the name Bring the Shreds. So I think at this point now you can understand that I went from a fat person down to a skinny person, fat again, and then not just skinny, but a lean, shredded physique. And that was something that I really liked and I really enjoyed sustaining. And the cool thing about that, I didn't sacrifice any of the foods I loved. I was still eating a lot of quote unquote junk food, but just being more cautious, more aware of how much I was putting into my body. So tip number 1. Without this tip, none of the other tips matter. So this is why I put it at number 1. Consistency is key. Nothing happens overnight. You didn't get fat overnight, you're not gonna get skinny overnight. Same thing with trying to put on muscle. You're not gonna go to the gym one day for 10 hours and expect to get muscle. You gotta go to the gym 1 hour or 2 hours every single day. And over time, that's when you'll start seeing progress and you'll start seeing muscle definition. Which brings me to my second tip. Train hard. Just don't go through the motions. I see a lot of people at the gym, either where they're starting off or if they've been there for a long time, but they kind of look the same. They kind of just go through the motions. I notice sometimes people, they get to the gym and then they're talking with their buddies, they're on their phones. They're not really focused on the reps or the workouts. You know, and if you talk to them, they'll be like, yeah, I spend 2 or 3 hours at the gym every single day. But if you really think about it, like, are you really making it count? So have some sort of structure. Don't just kind of, you know, go to the bench one day and feel like, oh, well, I'm just going to do this because the guy that looks buff is doing it, so I'm going to do it. And then, oh, that girl that looks cute over there is doing the leg machine, so I'm just going to go over there. So have a real structure of a workout plan. Another thing is something called progressive overload. Progressive overload means you're either doing more weight or more reps than before. So for example, if I'm bench pressing 225 last week, maybe I can up it by an extra 5 pounds on each side, or I can still bench 225 but do more reps than before. And that's what's called progressive overload, and that's what makes your muscles grow. A lot of times people think you have to quote unquote switch it up for muscle confusion, because if you confuse the muscles, that means your muscles aren't used to a certain routine and that's how your muscles grow, when in fact that is not correct. So do progressive overload, don't switch it up all the time. Which leads to my next tip. Find a workout routine and diet that you can stick to. So everything I said so far may work for me but not for you. So for example, I love lifting weights. That's just like my thing. That's why I fell in love with the gym. Even though my diet at the time wasn't up to par, I still managed to go to the gym. But someone like me, I really didn't like doing too much cardio at the time because it was, to me, it was boring. So if somebody told me like in order for me to lose weight and only to lose weight was to do cardio, and I hated going on the treadmill or the elliptical, what's the likelihood that I would stick to that routine? I may do it for a week or two, or maybe a month or two. I'll just get bored of it and I won't continue. Also, if you're unsure of what you really like, you can hire someone like me, an online coach, or you can sign up for a class at your local gym. Also, don't switch from fad diet to fad diet. I've known so many people, every week there's a new fad diet out and they just hop from one to the other. I'm not saying these fad diets don't work, because some of them really do. But the thing is, if you're gonna pick one, just stick to it. Don't hop from one to the other because one is popular this week and then the next week is gonna be something else. Tip number 4 is increase your activity levels. Well, what does that mean? Well, yeah, you can work out and yeah, you can do cardio and yeah, you can run and do all those things, but what about the rest of the day? I used to work at this corporate office where we had 6 floors and I used to work on the 5th floor. And instead of taking the elevator, because every time I was there, the lines were super long to get in, I would just take the stairs. Yeah, it was kind of rough, especially in the morning, but after a time, you just kind of just get used to it. Also, another thing I find funny is people that complain that there's no parking at the gym and they have to park really far, but they just end up going to the treadmill or elliptical right after. I know it sounds silly, but that's another trick you can use. If you're going to the store, the market, try to park further away. Which leads to my next point, tracking your steps. So now there's a Fitbit or the Apple Watch where you can easily track your steps. So you honestly really have no excuse at this point, unless you have no money. Then save up, then buy one. And another example is just grabbing some of your coworkers during lunch and going for a walk. I know it may not seem a lot, but like I said, if you do this every day, 5 days a week during your lunch break, it does add up. All right, now tip number 5. And to me, this was a game changer. And this is tracking your calories and your macronutrients. Because I was able to track my calories, I knew exactly how much I was able to put in my body. I wasn't really guesstimating or unsure of like how much I was eating because I bought a food scale and I weighed everything out. And I know what some of you guys are thinking, oh my God, Louis, I don't want to weigh out my food. That seems like so much work. And I get it. I tell my clients, even if they don't want to do this for a long period of time, try doing it for 2 weeks. By doing it for 2 weeks, you'll see exactly, like I said, how much you were putting into your body. And a lot of times people don't realize it. Like, oh my God, like because I was able to see how much I was eating, you know, I thought I was eating this amount of calories, but in reality I was eating this amount of calories. Does that make sense? So I think it's really important for you to just at least be aware of how much you're eating. Tip number 6, eat foods high in fiber and protein. The reason why I say eat foods high in fiber is because you can eat so much food like vegetables. If you see my salads, they're like this big, but the calories are so low. And I think that's one way to help you stay full longer. Not only are vegetables have a lot of vitamins and minerals, but like I said, it has a lot of fiber, which keeps you full, and the calories are very low. Also, eating a lot of protein, like I said, if you're going to the gym and working out, you need to eat a lot of protein to help build muscle. So out of the protein, fats, and carbs, I never heard anybody saying I got too fat eating too much protein. It's usually the other way around, right? I got too fat eating too much chips, too much pizza, which is a lot of carbs and fats. Which leads me to my next point. Tip number 7, find healthier alternatives. Now you're saying, like, what does that mean? Instead of drinking regular sodas, I like to drink diet sodas because there's 0 calories. Also, if you go out and you get like a burger with your friends, instead of getting burgers and fries, just skip the fries, just have the burger instead. You don't have to not eat anything and be that boring person that sits in a corner by themselves. Trust me, that used to be me. But if you just kind of sacrifice a side dish, you're able to hang out with your friends while still getting the results that you want. Also, when looking for a healthier alternative, I like to use this. It's like a powdered peanut butter. So this, one serving is only 70 calories. Where if you look at real peanut butter, I think one serving can go up to from 220 to 270 calories if I'm not mistaken. You're saving so much more calories by switching to a healthier alternative. Same thing when I'm making a pizza. I always go buy the turkey pepperoni, and that one has a lot less calories than regular pepperoni. So just by making smaller adjustments, you can still eat your pizza, but you're not getting the same calories, which helps you lose more weight. Tip number 8, going back to what I said earlier, stop drinking your calories. Like I mentioned before, I love drinking diet sodas. If you drink regular sodas, 1 or 2 cans can really up your calories. Same thing with juices. When I go out to parties and I see somebody using juice as chasers or making a mixed drinks, I can already tell that's a couple hundred calories in their drink alone versus me if I drink like 1 shot of vodka, which is 64 calories, and a 0 calorie chaser. So how many drinks are they going to have a night versus me? We might drink the same amount of volume, but because their juice has so much sugar, so much more calories, they're going to pack on more weight versus me. I'm not going to pack on as much. Also, I don't know about you, but I like to eat my calories, not drink it. How many people do you know get full by drinking their calories? Not me. I rather, like I said, just eat my calories. If you guys made it this far, I'm going to give you guys my last tip. And this is also as important as number 1, and that is finding your why. I honestly think this is one of the most important tips, but people tend to skip over it that want to lose weight. Seriously, ask yourself, what's the real reason why you want to lose weight? Why is this important to you? Some say it's to look good, eat healthier, it's to live longer. And these are legit answers, but they're very broad. It's like somebody that wants to buy a new car, right? If somebody just says, I want to buy a new car. Well, why do you want to buy a new car? I just want a new car, right? It's just like, I just want to lose weight. Okay, well, why? Versus somebody that, I want to buy a new car. Well, why? Well, my old car is breaking down on me. I kind of keep putting money to getting it fixed, and I just really need to buy a new car to get to work, right? There's more emotion to it. Like, there's a reason why you need to buy a new car versus I just want a new car. I hope that makes sense. Am I making sense? I think I'm making sense. So really ask yourself, what is the reason you really want to make this change? Because if you can't really answer this question, I feel like you're going to be motivated for maybe a week or 2, like I said, right? And then again, old habits will come back, and because you don't really have a really good reason why, the chances of you sticking to this are less than likely. All right, guys, that's all I have for today. I really hope my tips and tricks helped you. New Year's resolution is around the corner, and I've seen so many people fail. So hopefully you guys take my tips and tricks and apply it to your life. Let me know which one is your favorite, and also which ones are you struggling with the most. Last but not least, I do more videos like this about tips and tricks. I do a lot of celebrity diets and pick out which one's my favorite. And also I make videos on healthier fast food options because, hey, who doesn't like fast food? So if that sounds good to you, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, like the video, thumbs it up. Wait, that's the same thing. But I will see you in the next video. And oh yeah, don't forget to bring the shreds. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.